The beautiful boss was moving things around. Accidentally, she dropped a potato on the floor, and that potato would completely change the fate of the man in front of her. When he saw the potato fall, he bent down to pick it up and kindly let the boss know she had dropped something. She saw him dressed in rags but noticed the kindness in his heart and felt compassion for him, so she decided to let him help in her restaurant's kitchen. But she didn't know that this decision would change the man's life forever. She led him straight to the kitchen and told him to start with simple tasks, but the head chef looked at him with contempt and said they didn't need more people. The boss insisted several times, and the chef reluctantly agreed to give him a chance. Shortly after, the boss took him to change his clothes. The head chef noticed how close the man was getting to the boss and was consumed with jealousy, so he decided to test him. He asked him to cut meat into strips. Each strip had to measure exactly 1 inch long and 3 millimeters wide. Only then could it guarantee the perfect texture when cooked. But before he even finished speaking, the man had already cut all the strips. The other staff were left speechless. The strips were incredibly even. An apprentice pulled out a ruler to measure them and found that not even a millimeter was off. The head chef's expression changed immediately. He realized that the man's knife skills were on another level, but he didn't give up. He wanted the man gone so he could keep the boss for himself. So he gave him another challenge. He asked him to beat an egg. Not only did it have to be perfectly mixed, but he also had to make a toothpick stand upright in the beaten egg. If he failed, he would have to leave. But once again, a miracle happened. Everyone was in shock. The head chef, now furious, issued another challenge, but this time, the man had to bread pork meat. Not a single drop of the batter could fall outside the bowl. If it did, he'd be out. But the man wasn't fazed. He slowly dipped the meat into the mixture, and his inner energy flowed silently. The batter clung to the pork like silk. Then, with a swift strike to the table, all the pork strips flew into the air and landed perfectly on the plate. The entire process was clean and precise. Not a single drop of batter on his hands. The spectators couldn't believe it. They began to wonder if he was using internal energy techniques. The head chef lost control. He shouted at the man, accusing him of disrespecting the rules and threatened to break his legs if he kept stealing the spotlight. But the man ignored him and kept working in silence. It turned out that this man had once been a 3-time champion of the national cooking tournament, until a jealous apprentice poisoned him, causing him to lose his memory. He ended up on the streets, until he met the boss. At that moment, the head chef asked him to carry a dish. But as he picked up the sweet and sour pork, he paused. The head chef yelled angrily, but the man said out loud that the sauce was too thick and that it threw off the balance of flavors. He even claimed that the jury president would not be pleased. The head chef exploded, accusing him of trying to revolt. But before he could act, the boss ran into the kitchen and said the president was already growing impatient. The chef hurried to hand off the dish. Soon after, it was served at the table. The president eagerly took a bite, but immediately spit it out. His expression darkened.